Now, Sports Talk with Broads. Here's Hunter Brody.
And we have to keep this greasy beard alive for a minimum of at least 2 more days. The Philadelphia Flyers find a way to force Game 6. And you might ask, Broads, why are you going so crazy? Why are you so excited? They blew the game late. Well, I'll tell you why. They won the hockey game. They had one job to do. Win the hockey game and force Game 6. What did they do? They forced Game 6. That's all that matters. I don't care how it happened. They won. They won the hockey game and they extended the postseason for at least another game. And I thought that they played so strong. I really did. I thought their offensive creativity was beautiful. That was the most I've seen this team enter the zone. They had some counterattacks. They actually had a 2-on-1 where the puck moved and they scored. I mean, what the hell? I feel like they haven't had an opportunity like that in quite some time. So the Flyers, I thought, actually put together a really well-balanced game, except for the last 5 minutes of regulation, and that's where things fell apart. So there's no doubt that Josh Bailey shouldn't have had that much time and space to pass to Nelson, who ripped it past Carter Hart from so damn far away, and Carter Hart should have made the save. This was for the Islanders to make it a 3-2 hockey game. There's no doubt that that play should have never happened. Carter Hart should have stopped it. I mentioned Josh Bailey with the amount of room that he had to dance around a bit. Should have never happened. And that third goal for them to tie it. I don't even understand why Nate Thompson's out there. Nate Thompson played so damn long in this game, and when you look at everybody else, the overtime makes it seem not as bad as what it was, even though it still was bad that Nate Thompson played 17 minutes and 33 seconds. But when you look at the overtime period, because a lot of the other players played more minutes, it's not that bad. But no, after regulation, there's no reason for Nate Thompson to dial in so many minutes. And why is he out late in the game after the Islanders just made it 3-2? Robert Haig out there. Why do we have these players out there late? It makes no sense. You got to put out better players than that after the Islanders just scored and grabbed a bunch of momentum. It's ridiculous. Now you can yell at Carter Hart for the third goal as well if you didn't like his stick placement, but there's so much that went wrong in that play, from people even being out on the ice to allowing someone backdoor like that wide open. It was miserable in the last handful of minutes, and it's a shame because it takes away from their really solid performance all around. And it sucks because we've seen the Flyers do this already in this series, and they came back and won in overtime because of Phil Myers, so you essentially saw deja vu occur. All I care about, it's simple. All I care about is they came together, they put their big boy pants on, as Alain Vigneault would say, and they grinded it out. And when adversity hit, they stepped up. And by the way, Claude Giroux showed up, and he was awesome. Awesome. And he was awesome in Game 2 as well, where he had only 1 assist on the stat sheet, but he contributed to a bunch of goals. It just didn't result in him being on the stat sheet afterwards, so a lot of people claim, that doesn't matter. No, it does. If you have a hockey mind, you properly see what he's doing out there. That doesn't always result in points. In this game, though, luckily, a lot of the things he did do right did result in points. So he had a goal, and that's been a big knock on him throughout his postseason career over the last however many postseason games. He only had the 1 goal. I think it was somewhere around 27 games or so in that area. He only had the 1 goal. Well, bang, he ends up scoring one today on a beautiful little tip, which we will get to. And he had a big-time key piece, or a big-time key play, which was a key piece to scoring the overtime winner. Before we dive more into this episode of Sports Talk with Broads is sponsored by Orbit Energy and Power, and their solar program helps eliminate your electric bill completely. They offer flexible financing solutions such as $0 down. They will make sure you receive all the state and federal incentives available for switching to solar. No risk and no need for investment. Make sure you check out their information. It's in the description. So there was no scoring after 1. Some chances for both teams, but 0-0 heading into the second period. The Flyers, they don't take the lead. And you question, if the Flyers were going to go down at any point in this game, will they have enough firepower to actually battle back? Will they find a way to get past Varlamov if they're already down? This Islanders team, I don't think I need to stress it anymore, how lethal they are defensively, how they suffocate you, how it's so hard to create and generate scoring chances. Once you go down, you question, oh no, are they going to be able to do it? Not only that, the goal was very questionable. They score the goal, sure. Did the Islanders get pushed into Carter Hart? Yes. But afterwards, they were obviously standing in the blue paint. It wasn't as if anyone was trying to get out of the way. They stayed there. They stayed there. They're parked there. They were relaxing there. They were seeing what's going on. You got to get out after that. I understand the initial push was definitely in play by the Flyers, but you can't just stand in the crease and stand there while the Islanders try and find a way to put the puck in the net. That's disgraceful. I honestly can't believe that they called that a legitimate goal. Anybody with two eyeballs can see that there's no way that that should stand. There's no way that that should go up on the board. It was obvious. It's simple as this. It was obvious. But whatever. The refs give it to him. At the time, I would feel different if I felt confident about this team scoring. I didn't at the time, so I was very pissed off. I was very frustrated. But luckily, the captain, Claude Giroux, ends up getting a beautiful chip in the slot area to tie the hockey game up. So, where was this at? That goal was a power play goal, by the way. Not the Flyers one, because we know their power play stinks. The Islanders goal by Bailey, that was a power play goal. To tie it up, Myers and Couturier gets the assists on Giroux's goal, and then JVR on a 2-on-1 with Scott Laughton. Think about this. Claude Giroux stepped up. Scott Laughton, not only did he have the game winner in overtime by getting net front and tipping a puck, but he had a beautiful 2-on-1 pass with JVR who buried it. And how many times have I sat in this very chair talking to this same camera, speaking to this microphone right here, saying JVR deserves to play, but not with Nate Thompson. He deserves to play, but he needs to play with better players. And that's not to say he's some awful talent that can only play with great players in this league. The only way he succeeds is because he has to play with good players in this league. No, that's not what I'm saying, but his playing style needs other players other than a Nate Thompson out there. Let's stop putting him with Nate Thompson. JVR can score goals. JVR can find ways to be effective, okay? He just can be, but you need to put him in with the right line, and you saw him in this scenario in the second period. Get a line rush. Travis Konechny gets the first apple. Well, technically he gets the secondary apple. Scott Laughton moves it over to JVR, and boom, just like that, the Flyers take a 2-1 lead. In the third period, not only did the Flyers score, but they had to play a whole period without Sean Couturier. That's right, the dude who's going up for the Selke. So in Game 6, as I move away from this emotional happiness that I have right now based off of the win, it'll settle in that the update for Sean Couturier is we have no information, and it's possible that he doesn't play when it matters in Game 6, and that's going to be crucial for this team. And I'll get to that as we get closer to Game 6, but for right now, I'm very happy they won. That's what's on my mind at this moment. The Sean Couturier loss was insanely huge for this team and can be the difference maker in winning Game 6 or not. This guy, not only can he generate offense, but what he does on the defensive side, right? Do I really have to sell you what Sean Couturier could do in the defensive zone? I mean, if I do have to, then I guess you just don't watch a lot of Flyers hockey or you don't pay attention to the NHL at all, because he's one of the best to do it in the entire league when it comes to shutting down other players and shutting down top dogs on the opposing squad. He does it beautifully. Can he do it better than what he has done throughout this series? Well, I think you can argue maybe, but you're a lot better with him than without him. It's pretty easy here, right? Let's not have to break down the math. Doing what they did in the third period without Sean Couturier, well, early at least. I mean, it was the last 5 minutes that fell apart completely, but Matt Niskanen gets a rip. Here he comes down the wall, rips a clap bomb. It goes far low, corner. Flyers have a 3-1 lead. That was assisted by Konechny and Kevin Hayes. TK gets on the score sheet a couple times. Laughton gets on the score sheet a couple times. Giroux gets on the score sheet a couple times. I love that. I absolutely love that. But yes, once the Flyers were up 3-1, the last 5 minutes, it's just abysmal. And it's a problem that you've seen it now twice to this Islanders team. You got to find a way to be tougher. You got to find a way to win battles. You got to find a way to not just collapse. Be strong on your stick. Keep good gap. Don't play so soft. Yes, the time is clicking down, right? There's no doubt that the time is going down and there's only a handful of minutes left and you're up. You got to bear down. You got to make a hit. You got to do what you need to do to chip the puck out of the zone. Put the puck in the neutral zone. Hell, even get a rush if you can. If you get a rush, take a rush. Don't be afraid to make a counterattack. But you got to be stronger in late minutes. When things intensify to an insane degree, you can't fold. What type of team just folds? And it's crazy that this is happening because this hasn't happened all season long. This isn't something that has occurred for this Flyers team. And it's scary because you know in the third period, if you look at how this series has played out and how the Islanders have played in the third period, they are lethal. They are literally deadly in the third period. And maybe there's a psyche part of this where the Flyers know, the Islanders are going to come. And the Islanders know, oh yeah, we're going to come. Maybe that has something to do with it. The mental side of the game. Knowing that they excel in the third period. It scares the Flyers. But you can't allow that to happen if that's the case. Come on. You know what to do. You've all been playing hockey for a long time. Now, sure, you can yell at Alain Vigneault for having someone like Nate Thompson out there, if that's the road you want to go down. But still, I mean, come on. You're a veteran player. I yell at players all the time. They're my number one problem when things go wrong because they're the ones that are not executing. There were plenty of mistakes that happened outside of Nate Thompson being out on the ice, but I can still question why the hell he played 17 minutes and 33 seconds. It's just ridiculous. Now, this overtime period was wild. Travis Konechny to Kevin Hayes backdoor. Kevin Hayes with a tip in front of the net that rings off the pipe. Carter Hart with magnificent saves. Matt Martin to Taze on a 2-on-1. Nelson on a breakaway. I was barely breathing during those moments. But you had G do what he needed to do. It gets to Provorov. Provorov takes a shot, and there's Laughton net front. If you realize a common theme here, if you look at some of the goals that were scored, and not just in this game. Last game, you had Sean Couturier with a tip in front of the net. And in this game, Scott Laughton gets a tip in front of the net. And get pucks to the net. Get pucks to the net. Get some deflections. That Kevin Hayes one in overtime, it didn't go in, but it was so damn close. Get to the net. Fire him. Varlamov is not that good. He's not bad. He's better than average, but he's not some stellar netminder. Rip him on him. Take away his eyes. Get to the blue paint. You're seeing it work. You're seeing it be successful. It blows my mind sometimes when things work. Why does it take so long for teams to continue to go down that path? Instead, they want to be so pretty all the time. They had a power play in overtime. This thing made me want to scratch my damn eyes out. It's pitiful. It's putrid. This power play. They spend more time trying to enter the zone than they do passing the puck around in the zone and actually firing pucks on net. How? How is that possible? When are things going to change? Can we try something new? Can we dial up a different play? Instead, here they are looking around. Do something. And I make fun of the guys all the time and the women, the men and women in the stands. Shoot on the power play. Because, no, you're not supposed to just literally fire anything on the power play. The point of the power play is to create that odd man situation that you can maybe tic-tac-toe. But when you're this bad, when you have 4 goals on the power play with over 40 attempts, it reaches a new level. So while there's times where I think it is safe to say, hey, why don't we get the puck from low to high, walk the blue line, see if there's a lane so we can get sticks on the puck. I get that philosophy when you're this garbage. There are times where the shoot guy or female gets on my nerves. This is the time, though, I guess I can get behind the whole shoot narrative. Before we get to the phone calls, which you left on the 24/7 Anytime hotline, that hit on Joel Farabee, come on. It's head contact. It's head contact. This is 2020. If you want to say, oh, well, he was low to the ground, it was just natural because of where the hit occurred and where Joel Farabee's body was, I don't care. It was head contact. No doubt about it. Did he try and do his head? No, I don't think that it was intentional. I don't think he went out to go, oh, I'm totally going to destroy Joel Farabee's head right here. It just happened. It's a shame. It's unfortunate, but that was head contact. And I mentioned Sean Couturier being out for the third period. Matthew Barzal got a high stick with Claude Giroux following through. And it right in the eye. Scary moment. I got hit in the mouth once with a high stick with a visor on. You just shock. Full shock. You don't know what's going on. You kind of black out a bit. It's no fun. I always wanted to have no teeth. I always wanted the Sean Couturier life where you smile and you just got the hockey teeth going. I got hit one time in practice by my own teammate with the high stick, and I will never wish that upon anyone. Here I am. My mouth's bleeding. I'm covering my mouth. I'm getting high sticked in practice. You know, if I'm going to get hit, I might as well lose the jibs because it's a sick look. And if I could untie my headphones right now, I'd probably stop telling you the story about how I got hit with the high stick, but I'm just trying to ramble so I can figure out how to untie these damn things. Let's hear your phone calls. Let's hear your reaction. The phone number is 856-442-9805. You can utilize this phone number at any time. That's why it's the 24/7 Anytime hotline.
All right, bros, we did it. One game at a time. We could have played better. We had the lead. Of course, we broke down at the end. But a win is a win. We took it in overtime. And with Giroux scoring, JVR scoring, Laughton scoring, those are guys that we needed to keep going and get those goals, and they did. One game at a time, I'm feeling it. It's not quite 2010, but it's almost there.
We'll see what happens. You made a great point, though, listing the players who have scored. We talked about all regular season long about these players who have stepped up and provided great spark for this team. And it's not just the top guys, it was the depth guys. But since this playoff run has started, those players haven't really been producing. And you see the outcome. Granted, there was that brutal breakdown late in the game. Nobody's denying that or throwing that away. But for right now, let's just take that away. Let's look at the way, before those last 5 minutes of regulation happened, how well some of these players played that you needed to step up. And look at the difference in play when that happened. Matt Niskanen and Provorov, they were awful in Game 4, and they were a big reason why they fell apart late. The best way for me to describe what happened in Game 4, let's use Sixers Celtics as an example. If the Sixers and Celtics have a great game, teams both make runs, and it's the fourth quarter with 4 minutes to go, and the Celtics push away with one because maybe the Sixers have 4 turnovers late over the last couple minutes, where you go, that's where they lost it. Well, in Game 4, that's where the Flyers lost it, where Matt Niskanen had some bad decisions, and on top of that, Provorov didn't play a fantastic 2-on-1. That's where they lost it. They weren't that far off. I thought they played a decent game in that one. But here, they played a really strong game, and when you look at the stat sheet afterwards, oh, look at that. Those top players were on there. Isn't that ironic, Al? When you think that they play such a solid game, well, guess what? The top guys performed.
Well, the best part of the win is that Hunter gets to keep his beard another day. Good job. I am totally speechless at this one. I mean, you run the gamut of emotions. From being pissed at Carter Hart for giving up a garbage second goal, and on the highlights, I guess he could kind of be at fault for the third goal, but then the kid comes up big in overtime and saves their bacon. We've criticized Giroux. He came up big tonight. He was omnipresent on the ice. Can this team do it one more time? Because I think if they can get it to a Game 7, hey, we're not dead yet. I mean, great heart, great courage. I mean, again, I'm just totally speechless. Totally.
Well, big picture, when you're down 3-1, if you said, can this team win 3 games in a row against the Islanders? I would say probably not. That's a very hard thing to do. It's hard to beat any team 3 times in a row, and that's why when you look at sweeps, you go, damn, well, that was just insanity. But with this Flyers team, win Game 6 and you just never know, right? You win Game 6 and it's a toss-up. Can they win Game 6? Sure. I mean, it's weird because every game, it seems like there's a moment where the Flyers don't play very strong and the Islanders take advantage. They wait for their counterattack. They do damage. Things of that nature. So you don't really know what Flyers team you're going to get at what point of the game. Are they going to go on that ride that looks really solid? And at what point of the game are they going to look like one of the worst hockey teams ever assembled? Or are the Islanders going to come out and blow the Flyers out of the water in the first period? It's so random, you don't really know what team you're going to get, and that's the sad thing. When they play their great hockey, well, guess what? They can easily compete with this team. Maybe the Islanders forced the Flyers to play so ugly because of their style. I think that's definitely a role, and that plays a factor. But still, I mean, good teams still find ways to counter good defenses, and you got to expect that from this Flyers squad. I just don't know what version of this team you get in Game 6. If you get the good version, sure they can force a Game 7. Will you get the good version, though?
Oh, my God, bro. You got the win. I'm so... Wow, I was ready to throw up that whole overtime. I was so thirsty at the same time, trying to drink my water, but I felt like I was going to throw it right back up. Hats off to Scotty Laughton, though, getting the game-winning goal, but we should have won that game in regulation. I'm really mad that we didn't, and we gave up 2 goals. Really mad about that, but hopefully we can win 2 or more. Fly or die, baby. Oh, wow, that was an ugly win, but I'm glad we got the goal in overtime. I had to take a whole shower after. I was so ready to throw up, but fly or die, feel the shake, baby. Let's go Flyers. Anytime, anywhere.
just flowing them at us here, just throwing them all over the place. Fly or die, anytime, anywhere. What was the other one? I'm pretty sure that there was another one at some point in there. Before anytime, anywhere, fly or die. Now or never, I think it was. I don't understand what the Flyers media team was doing this season, throwing too many hashtags out there. But guess what? Right now, anytime, anywhere. Let's see if they can get it done on Thursday night. Let's go, Flyers.
Glad to see the win. Was it the prettiest of hockey? No. A lot of mistakes. Carter Hart's probably going to beat himself up on the 2 goals that tied the game in the 3rd period. Hard to say if it deflected off Farabee stick and he just didn't get a good eye on it, or if, he just made a mistake. Either way, going to overtime, great goal from Scott Laughton. Really good deflection. That's what we need. Same thing as Giroux's goal. Good to see Giroux and Van Riemsdyk get on the score sheet with a goal. That was a huge momentum booster. Them getting points that needed to happen. They needed to get a goal. I think it turned this game around for them.
Absolutely. They did need to score. It's big when those players step up and get the points and register something, especially everybody knowing about Claude Giroux's woes, everybody knowing about JVR being a healthy scratch, everybody knowing that Scott Laughton hasn't played up to the best of his ability. And maybe I haven't given Carter Hart enough praise for the outcome, because in overtime, he was a difference maker. No doubt about it, those scoring chances could have been cashed in. The Islanders could have easily scored on multiple chances, and he stayed very strong. After you give up those goals late, for you to mentally be relaxed, calm. Maybe he wasn't, and it just came off that way, and that's the special version of Carter Hart that we have here in Philadelphia. Maybe he wasn't cool and calm. Maybe he was nervous, but it didn't look that way. And he was making saves like he wasn't. He was making saves like he was. He was making saves like he was ready for the moment. That he was chilled. That he was relaxing in between the pipes. Can't wait. Thursday night. Feel the shake. Thank you all so much for listening. And I will see you next time.